What's up there, YouTube? Kenny here, also known as SoundFan85. Welcome to a review slash discussion of No Man's Sky, and then I'm going to segue into Ark for a bit. But this video is mainly going to cover No Man's Sky. There has been a lot of hate I've been seeing for this game, and I suppose I can understand why. Mainly for the price tag and for what you get, right? No Man's Sky was an indie game, obviously backed by Sony, very hyped up. Backed by Sony to an extent. But here's the thing. I believe I got what I paid for. And a lot of people don't think that. Because there's a lot of things going on with No Man's Sky that a lot of people don't really appreciate, I guess. What I appreciate with the game is what you get with it. Because it is exactly what I thought it would be. Alright. With that said, again, I play on PlayStation 4. I haven't gotten the PC version yet, so I haven't exactly been jaded by the problems that people have been having. But, for example, I did get Arkham Knight when it first came out on PC, and that was pretty unplayable. That made me mad, so I'm kind of reflecting that onto No Man's Sky. But eventually, I just updated a couple of drivers. They get some stuff fixed, and now I can run pretty much Arkham Knight at Ultra with no problem whatsoever in FPS drop. Aside from enhanced rain on nVidia, which has always been a problem. But anyway, so I kind of put that in reflection upon No Man's Sky for PC. I will say I would prefer to have No Man's Sky for PC because it's a lot easier to record and stream on PC than it is on PS4. But I do find it on a lot of levels relaxing because what I can do is when I get off work, which is usually late night, I can come home and I can chill out and I can stream from my PS4 to Twitch, which is nice because it works out for the Revelo program that I've been doing because you get more points by watching stuff on Twitch. So it works out overall. But from what I'm getting from the game, I love it because I'm getting procedurally generated worlds that nobody's ever seen. I've never seen them. I've never experienced them. We're getting a bunch of random animals that looks like some crazy scientist has thought to genetically mutate all this stuff. It's actually pretty awesome. Some of the stuff you see is really freaky. But again, it's very open world. It feels, I'll be honest, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It feels limitless. It's great. I mean, yeah, it's not your standard first-person shooter, killing aliens, all kinds of stuff. But for what I'm getting from the creatures, the exploration, the challenges in the game, the dogfights you get into in space, it's fucking glorious to me. It really is. Now, with that said, there are some stuff that can be touched up and added, and that's what I kind of want to go over here. Number one, the graphics for PlayStation 4 anyway. PC is probably going to be far superior in this aspect. The graphics could be shined up and polished a little bit. Rendering could be a bit better, which it actually has gotten better from when I first started playing it because you really couldn't see animals when you were in the ship. You kind of had to land and get out in order for the animals to kind of pop up. But they've recently fixed that, which is really nice. So there's that. And the other thing would be base building. Okay, in any game that I played that's survival-ish, which is essentially what No Man's Sky is for the most part, there's always been some sort of base building. You know, you've been able to build a home and then go from there. I kind of have my own home world now. I found a planet the other day that I named Valhalla, not Valhalla, but Valhalla, or Valhalla, however you want to pronounce it. But Valhalla, it's a beautiful planet with very few predators on it, knock on wood. A bunch of awesome animals that are just very mild-mannered and they just eat, you know, they're herbivores. And purple fields everywhere. It's awesome. Mountain ranges, beautiful water. It's great, and it's a huge planet too. I'm still haven't fully explored it yet. But I've discovered about 10 of 13 creatures so far. So it's really cool. I've also had the chance to go underwater and explore a bit, which is kind of hard to do on some planets because that shit is acidic and your life support and your radiation levels tend to skyrocket. So, you know, you're gonna. That's the other thing that's great about No Man's Sky is that even though And I'm going to get into some notes here in a bit, and this is mentioned. Even though there's really no actual moons, there's no suns that you can explore, there's, you know, nothing like that. The planets that you get and the moons, quote unquote, that are around some of the planets, there's no actual, I have yet to come across any actual dead moons, you know, like no dead bodies absent of life, just revolving the planet. But with that said, I mean, a moon doesn't necessarily have to be a dead satellite. But anyway, Valhalla, that I know of, I don't remember it, it doesn't have any moons. It's just the one planet in one system. I forget what I named the system. But that's the other thing, too, that I love about it, is that you're able to name new species, new planets, new systems, everything, man. It's awesome. Of course, that does have its glitches. On Valhalla, I'm having trouble identifying birds because they're up in the sky and you can shoot one down, but it just falls through the earth. So that's obviously a bug or glitch, whatever you want to call it. But again, with that, it's really awesome. I love what I'm getting for the game. I think it was worth the $60. I really do. And that's where a lot of people get up in arms about it. It's like, oh, this is just a bunch of horse shit that wasn't worth $60. I mean, okay, yeah. Would I have preferred to pay maybe half that for the game? Sure. But then, I don't know. I mean, personally, I just don't see that as a big deal. And it's not that I have money to throw away. I don't. I seriously don't. Like, I'm you know, a full-time working guy, married. We have bills that we got to pay and everything. So I am as about as normal as people come with that. So it's not like I'm just saying, oh no, I can throw away money. It's not. For what I get from this game, the enjoyment, the chill factor, totally worth it. And also on another level, it's just a game I can chill with and hang out with people on stream. It's great, so it works out in a lot of ways. But on some notes on some upcoming stuff. This is actually stuff they're going to be getting into. And base building was a part of it. So just some quick notes. Universe, the change the rules of the universe is going to create greater variety in galaxies, planets. Galaxies are now going to be like 10 times larger, which is awesome. Planets, they've added dead moons, low atmosphere, and extreme hazardous planets. Atmosphere, space, nighttime, and day skies are now 4 times more varied due to new atmospheric system. Planet rotation. Playtesting has made it obvious people are struggling to adjust to this during the play, so its effects have been reduced further. Terrain generation. Caves up to 128 meters tall are now possible. Geometric anomalies have been added. Underwater erosion now leads to more interesting seabeds, which is actually kind of cool. Because most of the water that I've experienced, at least on Valhalla, and by the way, I've discovered about 13, 14 planets so far. But Valhalla, the underwater is a little bland. I mean, you know, you see your standard kelp and your rocks and all stuff. So that's really good to hear. Ship diversity. I don't really see this as a problem. I stayed at a spaceport for a while and talked to a lot of the aliens that come along because I was really curious how much these ships like to go for, like their offers on them. They range anywhere from 500,000 units to 7 million. It's insane. The biggest difference, aside from the diversity, and I've seen some really cool ships, is mainly inventory size. It seems like the more inventory you have, the more it's going to cost. So, ship inventories now store 5 times more resources per slot, which is awesome. Trading is deeper. Star systems, planets each have their own wants and needs based off galactic economy. Feeding. Okay, so this is another thing I love about No Man's Sky. It's similar to Ark in some ways. Number one, you can feed animals you can run into. I haven't tried feeding a predator yet. I haven't even attempted it. But the herbivores on Valhalla, I am able to feed them. They'll run around. I've noticed they find resources for me, which is really cool. They'll kind of go into search mode. Some notes on here is that they have... creatures now have their own diet based on planet and climate. Feeding them correctly will yield different results per species, such as mining, protecting the player, becoming pets, alerting you to rare loot, and pooping valuable resources. Okay. So, that's really cool. I have yet to see them protect me or become a pet, but again, I have seen them go after rare resources, like Thaumium 9. They most of them tend to show me Thaumium 9, so that just might be a standard behavior. But again, with this patch they're talking about, they'll add that as well, so that's really cool. On the subject of animals being randomly generated, I like the way they do it. Again, it's really cool. It's just, again, like a mad scientist had a heyday and just said, "Ha, I have created something new, throw it out into the world." And it's like they took all the creatures from Earth, just slammed them together, and whatever came out, came out. It's really awesome. So anyway, that's just some of the stuff on here. They got a lot of other stuff too. Space stations, interiors are now more varied. Networking, able to scan other star systems other players have discovered on the galactic map, which is awesome. Star systems discovered by other players appear during galactic map flight. Ship scanning, flying over terrain, pop-in and shadow artifacts have been reduced. Generation speed has been increased twofold. Planets with large bodies of water will be targeted in the next update. And writing. The Atlas path has been rewritten by James Swallow, writer on Deus Ex, and me, Sean Murray. I think it speaks to the overarching theme of player freedom more clearly now. Early mission text has been rewritten to allow for multiple endings, which is really awesome. So, I'm really excited once they get this stuff put out. Obviously, patches right now, they're working, at least as of this recording, they're working on PC patches, trying to get everything equalized and working great, which is really glad to see. And here's the note, though. This is a team of like 15 guys doing this. This isn't a big studio. This is an indie game, for all intents and purposes. Even though it was very hyped up because of PlayStation 4 and because Sony put some backing into it. And again, I say that with my limited knowledge on it. I'll be honest, I didn't plan on buying No Man's Sky when it first came out. I was just gonna wait, but then I saw people streaming it, playing it, and I was like, oh, I gotta have this. I gotta get my hands on it because it's totally my kind of game. I'm a bit of a sci-fi nerd, and I love just chilling out with the game and exploring. And this gives it to me in subtle doses, and it's really awesome. But anyway, it's it's great. And the way when they say procedurally generated, I think that's a term. I could be wrong. Procedurally generated planets. I mean, this is what the computer is creating. It's just like the dungeons in Diablo. Right, when Diablo first hit, what made it such a great hit was that these dungeons, you didn't know where you're going. There was no maps online or in a book for it. And that's what I love about this, is that these planets are randomly generated. It's something anybody's ever seen until somebody discovers it. And then, of course, and that's something I really need to figure out how that works, because with the multiplayer aspect, obviously what it's going to do is it's going to generate the planet and then, from my understanding, save it. So if anybody comes across it, obviously it has the names you've named it, the things you've discovered, so on and so forth. And that's what's going to be really cool about the base building. Now, I can see that being griefing, but again, the chances of running into somebody else's base, at least at the moment, while these 18 quintillion planets are being discovered, star systems and whatnot, very, 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 very slim chance. You have a better chance of winning the lottery, in my opinion. But as time goes on, 2-3 years from now, obviously that number will keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, because thousands upon thousands of players are going to be discovering these planets. And they're currently working on a patch for PS4 PC crossplay, which is great. So I can't wait to run into somebody else's stuff. And it's going to be great. And once I can do that, if I can do that on stream, I'll be very happy at that moment. So segueing into Ark. Recently on Ark's notes, it looks like they're taking a cue from No Man's Sky, because they're going to be producing procedurally generated Arks. What that says to me is that they'll be producing random islands. So if you start a new single player game, it randomly generates an island. You start a new server, randomly generates an island. But you can also use your own maps as well, like the Isle, the Center, so on and so forth. So and speaking of Ark, I've been having trouble with that because I was trying to stream just about a couple of hours ago and it kept crashing. No idea why. So that's always fun. But anyway, when it comes to, all the hate for No Man's Sky, people are going to hate it. People are going to love it. Again, personally, I love it. I mean, I can't really put a score on it. I would say at the moment, with everything going on, with the additions that could be made, but with the state of the game at the moment, I would say an 8.5 out of 10, personally. Again, you know, just some minuses for a little bit more polish that needs it, a little bit more um, a feeling of home, being able to claim something without just putting it, you know, slapping a name on it, pretty much. Um, it is going to be cool, and I can't wait to get a new ship because mine is kind of driving me crazy at the moment. I have very limited inventory, and I can only do so much. So, but anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Remember, you're awesome. Never let the world see otherwise. See ya.